poo, oip, pay, po, up, poi, up, oop, ap, ip, pie, pa, pa, ape, ipe, eep, pu, pea, pi, ep, pe, pow, op, ope, up, aup, pu, ap, poi, pi, pow, paw, aup, poi, pa, paw, op, ipe, pow, ep, op, poi, up, ipe, pie, up, ipe, pie. Put the puppy in the pink purse. Put the pickles in the pink purse. Put the piano in the pink purse. Put the pizza in the pink purse. Put the peanuts in the pink purse. Put the pony in the pink purse. Put the pig in the pink purse. Put the pot in the pink purse. Put the panda in the pink purse. Put the pen in the pink purse. Put the pants in the pink purse. Put the purse in the pink purse. Put the peacock in the pink purse. Put the pie in the pink purse. Put the pencil in the pink purse. Put the parrot in the pink purse. Put the potato in the pink purse. Put the peach in the pink purse. Put the peas in the pink purse. Put the popsicle in the pink purse. Place the plane on the platter. Place the playground on the platter. Place the plug on the platter. Place the plaid on the platter. Place the pliers on the platter. Place the play on the platter. Place the plates on the platter. Place the platypus on the platter. Place the planets on the platter. Place the plow on the platter. Place the plum on the platter. Place the plants on the platter. Priscilla likes the pretty prism. Professor. Priscilla likes the pretty professor. Priscilla likes the pretty prize. Priscilla likes the pretty principal. Priscilla likes the pretty prince. Priscilla likes the pretty protractor. Priscilla likes the pretty present. Priscilla likes the pretty princess. Priscilla likes the pretty prunes. Priscilla likes the pretty pretzels. Priscilla likes the pretty praying mantis. Priscilla likes the pretty preschool. Spencer spilled sprinkles on the sponge. Spencer spilled sprinkles on the spaghetti. Spencer spilled sprinkles on the sparrow. Spencer spilled sprinkles on the spot. Spencer spilled sprinkles on the space. Spencer spilled sprinkles on the spaceship. Spencer spilled sprinkles on the sports. Spencer spilled sprinkles on the speech. Spencer spilled sprinkles on the spices. Spencer spilled sprinkles on the spinach. Spencer spilled sprinkles on the spider. Spencer spilled sprinkles on the spoon. The sprinklers sprayed the spring. The sprinklers sprayed the sprees. The sprinklers sprayed the sprain. The sprinklers sprayed the Springer Spaniel. The sprinklers sprayed the sprinkles. The sprinklers sprayed the spruce. The sprinklers sprayed the sprite. The sprinklers sprayed the spray. The sprinklers sprayed the springs. The sprinklers sprayed the sprinkler. The sprinklers sprayed the sprouts. The sprinklers sprayed the sprigs. Grandpa drew the popcorn on the paper. Grandpa drew the computer on the paper. Grandpa drew the lollipop on the paper. Grandpa drew the diapers on the paper. Grandpa drew the pepper on the paper. Grandpa drew the people on the paper. Grandpa drew the trumpet on the paper. Grandpa drew the leopard on the paper. Grandpa drew the grasshopper on the paper. Grandpa drew the cupcake on the paper. Grandpa drew the octopus on the paper. Grandpa drew the napkin on the paper. Grandpa drew the slippers on the paper. Grandpa drew the puppet on the paper. Grandpa drew the zipper on the paper. Grandpa drew the teapot on the paper. Grandpa drew the apple on the paper. Grandpa drew the hippo on the paper. Grandpa drew the teepee on the paper. Grandpa drew the paper, on the paper. Jasper whispered about the crispy treats. Jasper whispered about the hospital. Jasper whispered about the allspice. Jasper whispered about the osprey. Jasper whispered about the vespa. Jasper whispered about the aspens. Jasper whispered about the asparagus. Jasper whispered about the inspector. Jasper whispered about the larkspur. Jasper whispered about the whisper. Jasper whispered about the dispensers. Jasper whispered about the tablespoon. Kip brought the mop on the ship. Kip brought the hoop on the ship. Kip brought the sheep on the ship. Kip brought the tape on the ship. Kip brought the chip on the ship. Kip brought the rope on the ship. Kip brought the map on the ship. Kip brought the top on the ship. Kip brought the jeep on the ship. Kip brought the cap on the ship. Kip brought the ship on the ship. Kip brought the cup on the ship. Kip brought the nap on the ship. Kip brought the ape on the ship. Kip brought the envelope on the ship. Kip brought the soup on the ship. Kip brought the soap on the ship. Kip brought the makeup on the ship. Kip brought the dip on the ship. Kip brought the tulip on the ship. Penny and her puppy. Penny took her puppy for a walk down the path. She saw a purple peacock taking a bath. She saw a pretty parrot perched in a tree. She saw a panda eating peanuts on one knee. Peacock. Parrot. Panda. Peter Polly Platt. Peter Polly Platt plays planes with his cat. He placed a toy plane on her furry back. She plowed past the plants and under the large plum tree. Before she plowed the plastic plates my mom left out for me. Plane. Plants. Plates. The prince's present. The prince was eating pretzels and prunes, which he got for a present that afternoon. The prince shared his pretzels with a princess named Penny. She didn't want the prunes, and so there were many. Pretzels. Princess. Prunes. The speaking sparrow. I know a sparrow that can speak. He speaks to me when I sleep. He speaks about a spider spinning a web. He speaks about spaghetti in Spencer's bed. He speaks about a sponge, springs, and a spoon. He He speaks about a spaceship heading for the moon. Spider. Spaghetti. Spaceship. Sprat. I have a Springer Spaniel named Sprat. He sprints through the sprinklers after the cat. He springs over the fence after birds that flap. He sprawls under the spruce tree to take a nap. Springer Spaniel. Sprinkler. Spruce. Hooper's Puppet Show. Hooper, the happy hippo, is putting on a puppet show. He is hoping to impress his friend Cooper, the octopus. His puppet puts on an apron and bakes a cupcake. His puppet plays the trumpet to keep the crowd awake. Octopus. Cupcake. Trumpet. Vespa ride. Jasper rode his Vespa through the mountains. He drove among the aspens and the larkspur in the canyons. He gasped when he saw an osprey soar high above the ground. Jasper was inspired by the beauty all around. Vespa. Aspens. Osprey. Ride in the Jeep. Skip takes his sheep for a ride in his Jeep. They ride in his Jeep to pick up some soup. They ride in his Jeep to the basketball hoop. They ride in his Jeep to buy a new mop. They ride in his Jeep to get soda pop. Sheep. Soup. Mop. Peter and Paige. Peter and Paige rode their pony to the pizza parlor for some pizza and pop. When they arrived, Peter ordered pepperoni pizza with a large pop, and Paige ordered a plain pizza with a small pop. After they polished off their pizza, they decided to share a purple popsicle for dessert. Then Peter and Paige hopped on their pony and headed home. What did Peter and Paige ride to the pizza parlor? Pony. Pizza. Popsicle. Mrs. Platt's science class. Mrs. Platt, the science teacher, is teaching us about planets today. She passed out styrofoam balls the size of plums for the planets, pliers to bend the wires, and plastic stars for us to use to make dioramas of the solar system. Mrs. Platt reminded us that while Pluto is no longer considered a planet, we should still include Pluto in our diorama of the planets. Planets. Plum. Pliers. Presley's present. Presley wanted to give the prince and princess a present. So she prepared a pretty basket with pretzels and her precious prunes. When she presented the basket of pretzels and prunes to the prince and princess, they praised her for her kindness. After the prince and princess tasted the prunes, they declared that Presley's prunes were the most prized prunes in all the land. Presley felt proud. Present. Prunes. Pretzels. Spaghetti spaceship launch. When Spencer sat down to his spaghetti dinner, his spaghetti reminded him of springs all coiled up, ready to launch a spaceship into outer space. So Spencer pretended his spoon was a spaceship launching from the spaghetti into space to escape a killer spider.
After the space mission was complete, Spencer landed his spaceship carefully on a sponge.
Springs. Spoon. Sponge. Spring cleaning spree. Spencer hates spring cleaning, but his mom is on a cleaning spree. She says if Spencer spruces up his room, she will give him a treat. Spencer picks up the sprees on his desk. He throws away an old Sprite. Then he straightens his bedspread. Finally, he sprays his carpet with Spring Breeze carpet spray. His room is spring clean. Spencer's mom is impressed. She gives him a cookie with sprinkles on top. Sprees. Sprite. Sprinkles. Teepee Tea Party. Grandpa Cooper built a teepee. He invited me to have a teepee tea party with him. He brought Grandma's special teapot and her delicious cupcakes. Grandpa let me pour the tea from the teapot. I didn't even spill. But Grandpa was messy. He got cupcake all over his face. I handed Grandpa a napkin and told him not to be so sloppy. He said he was a sloppy poppy. Teepee. Cupcake. Napkin. Someone. The case of the missing Crispy Treats. Someone took my Crispy Treats. I suspect Jasper. Did you take my Crispy Treats? I ask Jasper. No, responds Jasper. I only eat asparagus. Then I suspect Casper. Did you take my Crispy Treats? I ask Casper. No, responds Casper. I was riding my Vespa. If it wasn't Jasper or Casper, who took them, I wonder? Then I see my cat Whisper eating my Crispy Treats. I laugh. I never suspected Whisper. Asparagus. Vespa. Crispy Treats. Cap nap. Philip was upset. He lost his red cap. He remembered wearing it before he took his nap. His pop thought it might be in his room. When Philip looked in his room, he found a cup of soup, a map with a rip, and an old toy ship. But he did not find his cap. Then Philip remembered he was wearing his cap when he took his nap. So Philip lifted up the covers on his bed. He found his missing cap. The cap looked tired. Maybe it was still taking a nap. Cap. Soup. Map.